Hello everybody. It's Community Team Cup time again. Match day 4 it is, and we are covering the Race Asylum versus Project 1 racing race today. So a couple of quick facts as usual to start that stream with. For those of you who are new to CTC, what are we doing here? Team versus Team Racing in a nutshell. We have 12 teams this year in total from 10 different communities. This means we have 2 groups with 6 teams each in it. So 10 match days in total for the regular season that spans from February till November. Every team has 1 home and 1 away match against the other teams in their group. Then the 2 group winners, they will advance to the grand final in December. It is 1 race per match day. Roughly 45 minutes in time will be translated into a fixed number of laps. The home team, they can decide the match day settings, like the car, the track, the weather, the multipliers for the fuel, tires and refuel rate, the available and mandatory tire compounds. For the cars and the tracks, there's a common pool for all teams for the entire season to pick from. That's it. And with that being said, I think I can get rid of that. We go full screen it is. Here we go. Alright. So, a quick look at the current standings in both groups. You see in Group A we have Project 1R X leading with 3 wins and no defeats so far. And in Group B we have AHR with the same 3 wins. So today's match features Project 1 Racing and Race Asylum, P2 and P4 in Group B currently after match day number 3. So entering match day number 4, here's a little bit of the schedule. So yesterday we saw the Xenex versus MRL matchup. Today we have the DTR versus ART taking place at the same time as the Race Asylum versus Project 1 Racing. So if you want to go to the DTR versus ART stream, there should be a stream shortly up on the Dream Team Racing YouTube channel. And then tomorrow we have 3 thrilling races again to finish match day number 4. ZFS versus AHR, CLR versus BFS, and TCR versus Project 1 Racing X. Streaming schedule not finalized at this stage, so will be some announcements happening tomorrow when we know that. So for today's matchup, it is you see the 2 teams, of course, and you see the car. It's the Daihatsu Copen RG VGT. Yes, here we go. The meme car has made it into CTC. We are racing at Dragon Trail Gardens. It will be a 21 laps race. The multipliers not too bad, I think. For the tires ×2, for the fuel ×4, and the refuel rate ×6. It will be afternoon. And then you see the weather. It will be soaking wet. Might get some less rain through the middle bit, but starting and ending in heavy wet conditions. So no mandatory tires, of course, that is. And I think drivers will just use the heavy wet tire. But I don't know. Maybe they also surprise us with running intermediates. We don't know. So the matchup between both teams, you see Race Asylum with 3 points, 1 win, 2 losses for the season. P1R with 6 points, that is 2 wins and 1 loss so far after 3 matches in to the 2025 season. Let's go quickly through the driver lineups, and oh boy, we have a stacked grid of drivers once again here for both teams. Some big names in here for both of the teams. We should have a great, amazing race and for all of us, hopefully. So, yeah, that's all the stuff for the prelude. Let's jump into the warm-up lobby. Let's have a look at the conditions and see what they are capable of doing. So it's currently the qualifying warm-up practice. So no fuel, no tire wear on, so get used to those conditions. And it's not really nice at Croatia here in those conditions, but sometimes that's what you get. And then we go for the livery watch, so Project 1 Racing. What happened? I don't know. Something disconnected on my end. Okay, whatever. And let's go to the race asylum. The orange-black themed livery. We are on this Copen. And then we go to the Project 1 livery. Black, yellow, blue and white. For this car, whoopsie, my controller skills still not the best when using my thumbs, but yeah, we won't get confused, I guess, with those liveries, so it should be all good so far. So let's have a look at the chat. Good evening, everybody. We have Ian DTR cars in here. We have P1R Petrol, Gr.B is with us for a seller. Neighbor, they're all three in here. I see Ost in here as well. The DTR guys as well. M Guy Racing. We have Jazz for Asylum. In it, Richie for DTR. We have Jake Chaplin. Hey, good evening. So, welcome all. I hope we get an exciting race for this one. The conditions definitely should give us something to look forward to. And also this car, I doubt that many drivers have ever used this car before the practice for this round. It's a very mimi car, isn't it? Like a Japanese K car, but like on steroids. Here this is, I think, getting a bit closer to Gr.4 specifications with that BGT approach. So we will see how the racing actually looks like in those machines. So as expected, all of the drivers seem to be using the heavy wet tire, so I think there is not much experimenting going on. Here seems to be the heavy wet tire, the tire of choice for our drivers. Alright, so I think we are getting closer to that qualifying, and Shelty in here as well. Oh, here we go, maybe we see that car again. Shelty teasing maybe a return for a TCR race. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, if we see some exciting close races with this car, maybe then we'll see it a couple of times for the season. It's still a couple of match days to go, so it's match day 4, 10 match days in total. And alright, so it looks like drivers are getting ready for the qualifying. So we have a 10-minute session for this qualifying as usual. All drivers can go out on track but we do a 30-second split between the two teams. So the home team, that is Race Asylum, they go out first, and then P1R, they follow after roughly 30 seconds. Here we go, you see the announcement, and that's all she wrote for now. And let's go racing. So qualifying should be starting now. Good luck to both of the teams. Thank you, Richie. So DTR versus ART live on the Dream Team Racing YouTube channel. So I need to do my stuff here. Qualifying, let's go. So Race Asylum heading out onto the track, and it's still raining and it won't be easing off at all. I don't think so. I will then prepare the message for Perfect Run Racing. So if I press send, then it's okay. Alright, so let's see who is out first on track. It's Gears, then we have Little Nicky, Kaza, Shadow, Luki, and Toby for Race Asylum. For the Project 1 Racing crew, we have Arlapin, GT, Raymac, F1, Rumpadi, 18, Outbanger, Rebel 001, and Captain Slowly. And I think we are expecting 150 something-ish lap times. I'm not sure what is actually, maybe sub 150. But I think I set the overrun to 2 minutes. So if you cross the line when the timer runs out, you should finish that lap and set a lap time. And with that being said, in good old fashioned, it is cockpit camera time. Gears comes around the final double left-hander and starts the run now. Go, go, go. Interestingly, the windshield wiper is not working on that car. So the first long sweeping left-hander turn, number 1, stays in 5th gear. It doesn't use all of the track width. Now 100 ball roughly, brake, 3rd gear I think. And open up that corner for the chicane with the sausages and the penalty chicane. 4th gear, on exit. And now the run towards the hairpin. So first sector time is in. We brake roughly at the 100 again. Start off the curb on the right hand side and then into the slow hairpin. Power out in 3rd gear. Into the left, right. This little lift needed. Then down to 4th gear, reckoned. Yeah, for that right-hander. Again, go to the right, open up the corner for the left. It is downhill, don't run too wide. On the right-hand side, there is sand and travel that will slow you down. And now into the quadruple right-hander. And now you should be back onto the power. Cut that inside curve and go through the penalty zone. No penalty for King Gears. And then we approach the final 2 turns, double left-hander, roughly at the 100, brake. And then let's see what's the approach. Wide run into the double apex turn and then gets a smooth run out of it, and it will be a 1 minute 56, maybe 57. 57.6 for that first lap. Will Vicky with that 57.5, a bit quicker. Kaza with a 57.6 as well. Shadow 57.7, Toby 57.9, Luki 58.0. What about the Project 1 racing drivers? Lap in GT with the run, that looks promising. 54, 5, 6, 6.9 gets on top, and Gr.B with a 56.3, another half a second. That is Raymac jumps up to P3 with that 57.3. We have the Captain slowly then in 8th, Old Banger in 9th, and Rever in P12 after the first lap. So one to watch is definitely Gr.B, the Finnish driver. They made their debut last match day for Project 1 Racing. I'm pretty sure it was in the... Or was it? Was it in the X team? I haven't lost track. Definitely had a great race. And is leading that grid now with half a second. 1, 2, 3 for Project 1 Racing at the moment, with 5 minutes 45 seconds into this 10-minute qualifying session, and is improving once again. Nice little lap so far, smooth. I think that's the key in those conditions. Smooth lines. Kingers improved, Nicky improved, Kaza improved, Kaza up to P2. Shadow also with an improvement. It's P8 still. Luki also with a time improvement. But still 2 more laps for the drivers. And will we see a new fastest lap? Well, lost a little bit. So Gr.B is still leading. Kaza jumped up to P2 and is purple. So let's stay with Kaza. See if he can jump to the front. I know at least that Kaza is a very, very talented driver in those rainy conditions. So no surprise to see him up there. The conditions are getting worse. More standing water on the track, if I'm not mistaken. Still, Kaza is purple, nearly 2/10. So now the quadruple right-hander. Don't run too wide, nearly touched that red bit. That could be also an indicator for some great speed through those corners. See, you're braking for the final turn. It's a double left-hander, and smooth line, doesn't run off track. You can run a little bit off track, of course, to reshape it, but don't think that's ideal, sorry, in those conditions. And Kaza with an improvement, maybe it's a 56.5. Lost it a little bit, but consistent lap times, 56.5s twice in a row. So where our Project 1 racing drivers, Raymac in 3rd position, 3/10. That gap to Kaza in P2, Lappin and P4. Looks to be a good lap. 0.5, nearly got Kaza there, stays in P3. Gr.B improved to a 56.173. What's that? Raymac also improvement, stays in P4. Captain slowly up to P5. Toby in P6, 57.3. The close gaps between the team drivers. Kingers in 7th at the moment. Rever in P8. Look at those gaps between Kingers, Rever and Nicky. 3/1000ths of a second each. And also just 100 to Old Banger in 2:10. Shadow with a penalty on that final lap, so Shadow won't be improving. Will he get one more? No, I don't think so. That is the end of the qualifying, I think, for Shadow. What about Lugi also with a 1 second penalty? Won't be improving on that one. So can Kaza improve? He's broken into the P1R dominance. So top 5, it's 4 Project 1 Racing driver with Kaza sitting in P2. And he might get one more lap. He's lucky, yeah, he sneaks in one more. Well, that's home team advantage, but can he now deliver on this final lap? So definitely final lap for our lap in GT. And it is a 56.5. Oh, so close. And Rumpali into the 55s. That is, wow, half a second that gap. So Rumpali smashed it once again. Ray back finish. The qualifying captain slowly as well. Old Banger and Rever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Top 7. We see 6 Project 1 Racing drivers currently. Toby finished in P8. King Ears is still on a lap. Same goes for Kaza. And one more driver. It is Nicky, yeah. So 3 Racing Salon drivers still on their final lap. So can they find some time? King Ears with an improvement. Is that the gap? Yeah, not close gap, so he could maybe move up P6, 7-ish if he can complete that lap with that run. 2, 3 tenths up at the moment. Just nailed the final 2 turns and get the run. That looks okay, at least from the visuals. It's a 56.6 P4 for King Ears. That is clutch moment. Kaza also a 56.0. Woohoo! Alright. That was close. So we just grab so used to using my wheel disconnected, so I go to the controller and bring up those things for us. So go to this one. Here we go. So we have Rumpali taking pole position, Kaza in P2, and I quickly update this in the background in the scorecard. I have a feeling that we might need some provisional scores very soon after the race. Are lapping in P3 for the qualifying. Mickey up to P4. I missed that. Sorry, Mickey. On that final lap, improved King Ears in 5th. And it's Raymac P6. Captain slowly in 7. Oh, don't look qualifying. It's Captain slowly on my sheet. Yes. Old Banger in 8th. Go to that second page. Rever grabs P9 Toby, P10 Shadow, 11 in the qualifying, and Oogie 12 for now. So that's the first part done. Quick toilet break. Alright. So yeah. An interesting qualifying session. So now we'll have to wait and see what the 21 lap race has to offer. So we go big screen for you and for me. And let's everyone good luck, I think. Then we can go racing, everyone. So a couple of more drivers in chat. I see Adriano, I see Webbit, hello, I see Valkyrie, Petrol. Don't think Petrol, I think I saw you already. Kevin is in here. CLR Richie as well. Richie, drink. All right, and the race has started. Thanks, Shadow. I will have a good race. Yeah, I would probably die after lap number 1. So good thing is I can just concentrate on the commentary for this one. So we'll get on the overlay. We see all the information needed, the tires, the wetness indicator, the fuel, the drivers, the standings. So we're set to go, and it's lights out, away we go. Who gets the best start off the line? It's Keza versus Rumpati. Keza with a blistering start takes P1 on the inside already. A great start. And up to P1, Rumpati in second. Well, Nicky looks down the inside. Is that opportunity? No. And around the outside goes Lepid GD. P3 it is for the Project 1 racing driver Nicky in for the Ray Mac in P5. King Gears with the time, a bit of contact between King Gears and Ray Mac. They go side by side through the chicane. Again, a bit of door banging, a bit of touring car-esque style. Also slippery as hell in those collisions. Captain slowly, old banger Toby. Lugi with a good start from P12 up to P10. Rever lost a couple of positions. Was on the inside, is late. Lugi doesn't see him coming, or was it Toby? I think it was Toby, the unlucky guy here. Rever slows down, gives that little bag at the front. We see side-by-side racing between Lepid GT and Kesa Rumpati up to P1 again. Oh, we missed that, but it's still close. Kesa in second, under pressure. Our Lepid GT right behind. We get a little bit of an onboard action early on. Let's see that gap. So where's this one? I need that as well. Oh, we see the cars behind, in front. It's all kicking off behind. Lepid. Go to Lil Nicky. King Gears 4 and 5. We see 3 Project 1 racing driver right behind old banger Raymac and Captain slowly. Nicky leads that train. It's nearly a second to the top 3. So we'll have a look at those gaps. Lepid staying with Keza. Keza 8-10. Project 1 racing driver Rumpati 18. Taking no prisoners early on. 1 second. Checking out of this race. Oh, that's at least its goal, I think. We see the puddles through the chicane. Keza trying to stay with Rumpati. A good run through the chicane. Closes that gap to 6 times. Open up that gap to Lepid in P3. What about Lil Nicky and King Gears P4, P5? King Gears with that half-second penalty. That chicane, probably, most likely. Then we have Raymac and Old Banger side by side. Interestingly, we see Shadow on the inside. Is this the better line through that hairpin? It's not over yet. Captain slowly still there on the outside, past the inside for the next turn though, and keeps that position out. So Shadow stays at P9, Lugi in 10th. Lugi nearly lost that car. They go hard over those curbs. And looks like Captain slowly is defending that P8 with all of his fly and a little bit more. Stays in front, let's turn out to the triple right. Lugi, Shadow, Toby right behind. A little gap to Rever. Now 1.4 seconds And Kaza stays with Rumpari for now. 6th, 7th hand. At this stage, good run. Caught up in the shadow though, out of the final turn. Opens up the gap nearly 9th hand. Lapin GT struggling now to stay with the top 2. 1.1. Nikki is still leading that next train of cars. Kyrgios dropped that position. He had to serve the penalty. So down to P6. Is still in contention for that P5. I think Ray went a little bit deep wide, but carry just good speed, I reckon. Again, we see the splashes, and not sure was this okay with the run. It looks like no penalty above the car. And once again, this time Shadow with the better run through the chicane, and moves up into P7 and defends the inside line for the hairpin. Lugi also looks like he wants to follow Shadow on the inside line. On the outside we have a bit more grip by the looks. So Captain slowly has a penalty. Will be dropping out of this battle probably soonish, and Lugi slots it between Captain Slowly and Old Banger. Old Banger right behind Shadow though, and this mid-pack battle is crazy close. Wow, so much action going on. Where to look? Captain Slowly now has to serve the penalty, so we'll lose that position to Toby now, and will probably drop down to P11, P12 maybe, even with that loss. Yeah, for now it is P12. So quickly run up the order. It's kept slowly in P12, Rebel in 11th, Toby then 10th, Lugi in P9, Old Banger in 8th, Shadow 7th, Kyrgios in P6, Raymac is in P5, Lil Nicky P4, then the little gap to our Lapin GT in P3, 1.6, the gap to the top 2 runners, that's Kaza and Rumpari after 4 laps. So we have a little bit of a picture established for that race. Rumpari also with that fastest lap so far. I think that will go down as the car gets lighter towards the end. The fuel won't be an issue. I think the tires definitely should be an issue. It will stay very wet, so those tires should survive the 21 laps. Oh, someone went a bit too deep into the hairpin. That was Old Banger, I think. Drops down to P10 for now. Has to regroup and lead the trailing Project 1 racing drivers rather and slowly to catch up with the back of the mid-pack. That is Toby in 9th position, Lugi in 8th, Shadow, and Kyrgios. Oh, Kyrgios 1 second. Ouch! That's gonna hurt. He will probably drop behind Toby. Just stays in front of his teammate. Just behind, and as Toby avoids it and runs over the curb onto the grass. That's another penalty, unfortunately. So if you're cheering for P1R, that's good news, of course. If you're cheering for Race Asylum, you don't want to see all those penalties, of course. Let's go back to the front where Rumpari opened up that gap, 1.1 second now. Kaza with a good run through that chicane by the looks. Not as good as the finish driver. Once again, he is flying in those conditions. 1.2 seconds now. Lapin in P3, staying there. Raymac F1 jump Little Nicky Nicky was running P4, now dropped down to P5, a second and a bit the gap currently. So can he bring it back through that middle sector of the track? And we have the next couple of RA drivers, Shadow, Luki, Kingers and Toby. Toby holding that penalty. Opportunity for Old Banger to get one more position, so we stay on board through this one. Oh, these curbs, I personally don't like them. So, way too high, way too bumpy, but that's the nature of this track. And now Toby has to serve the penalty. Will he be able to keep that position? It looks like he had a good run through those couple of turns, and indeed he stays in P9 for now, goes deep into the final two turns, but then brings it back, focuses on the exit or the run, and keeps that position for now. Cycle through the grid a bit. Shadow with a penalty will still be within that race asylum group, and no worries. What about Lil Vicky? Can he close that gap to Raymac? It's changing every update, but now it's 1.5, 1.6, so Raymac with a good run through that chicane is outside of that slipstream range now. In P3R lapping GT, it's 1.6 seconds off, just outside of the slipstream. Cars are not with the best run out of the hairpin. So our lapping GT is back in that slip. The same goes for Kessa, hanging on in there, just on the very, very low end of that range. But then you might also ask, does this car gain anything in the slipstream? It's not that quick, of course, so don't think that it's that crucial as we see in the Group 3, Group 4 cars usually. Still keeping up 1.4, nothing changes for now. Still like possible for the top 3, for any of them to win that race. And 4 seconds, the first big gap to Raymac in P4, 2 seconds to Nicky, and yeah, our lap in GT with the new fastest lap, 56.0. Still see those 1, 2, 3, 4 race silent cars, Luki, Shadow, Kingers and Toby. Staying in front of Old Banger, Captain Slowly and Rever. Approaching the first third of this race. So now it has settled down a little bit for now. I think this is still the closest between the two teams. Have a look at those lap times, 56s, very consistent, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4 for Keza. The Room Putty is doing very low 56s at this stage. So he's gaining 1/2 per lap currently. So key is, of course, to keep it clean, stay on the track, don't get penalties, stay out of trouble. Easier said than done, I know. And after that magic good lap for Alapa GT. He dropped down a couple of tenths in this half a second, and instantly you see that gap. Kesa with a 55.9 and Rupert with a 55.8. So top two are upping their pace. Let's see what the rest can do. It looks like that P4 Raymac has also now found the rhythm, can keep Nicky at distance, and also the other Race Asylum drivers keep on collecting track limit penalties. 1 second for Lugi. So we'll be right with this battle group again, and now we see maybe fight for position. We have the old banger also with a penalty. A little bit of contact with King Ears. King Ears though has the run on the outside. Should have that position here for the next right-hander. And old banger with that penalty will probably bite his whatever. Now this was a good opportunity to gain a spot. So we'll see now Lugi serving that penalty now, and Toby, Shadow and Kingers, they will catch up with Lugi now, within a second again. So it is still close in that mid-pack. Also old banger didn't lose that much, under a second. That gap 7, 8 tenths roughly, make it 9 coming out of the turn, and now 1 second, so not the best run out of final 2 turns. Still he's leading the P1R train. The gap is not too big, 1.3 though, but that not the best exit, let's put it that way. You really like it's crazy to see how much time you actually lose. So that's what I want to say. So it was 7, 8 tenths coming out of the first turn and went up to 1.3, 1.4. So momentum, car momentum, that's probably the word I was searching for. Very crucial. If you go too slow, you will consistently lose time, and over the next couple of meters, I think that is the challenge today. Get a clean race in. So it's still this Race Asylum train. Little Nicky, the gap to Raymac F1 roughly 3 seconds, and looks like Raymac is a little bit quicker. P3, that gap to Kaza opened up 3.4, and Kaza staying with Rumpadi. And this is now the phase of the race where for a brief moment it stopped raining, but as soon as I said it, the rain is back again, so no time to rest. We are now in this probably R06, R05 slots. Now this is basically the unknown, so anything can happen, but it looks like it stays wet. It keeps on pouring down, and Kaza with a fastest lap and a mighty run. He gained like 4 or 5 tenths easily with that chicane. Was it too late a little bit? I don't know. It looks like it went a bit too deep, but no. But had a different line compared to Rumpadi. Still that gap down to under 1 second. So, oh, we see something happening in that mid-pack battle. Positions are changing every turn. Shadow, Boogie, Kingers and Toby, but there's like a big orange and a black moving roadblock for the other drivers. So where to go? There are cars everywhere on that track. Now it looks like that Captain Slowly has a good run through the quadruple ride. Might challenge Toby for that position. That's 410th. Toby should be fine, I think. We'll go to my favorite camera. Again, a very good exit. So pretty sure they practiced this exit out of the final two turns, and so you have this little advantage coming down the main straight into the first sweeping turn, and then before the first heavy braking zone through the chicane, you are usually safe. Oh, Captain Slowly, aggressive run, jumped over that chicane, and was it okay? It was indeed. Purple Shadow with the new fastest lap, 55.6. Is there a gap on the inside? No, that is quite a cut on the inside curb. Is it okay though? Yeah, but you can't take that line. So what we definitely see now, it is, despite we saw a little bit of rain, we see a bit of a dry racing line here appearing. So that's why we see everyone going faster now in those drying conditions. Didn't expect to see the moisture meter dropping down that low, to be honest. A bit of friendly fire between Old Banger and Captain Slowly, so that didn't really help their cause to put some pressure onto the race setup drivers. Again, different approaches for that final turn. I know some drivers are trying to cool the tires already now. Yeah, Shelty, I agree. We should probably see some wear on those heavy wets again. Question is, how long will it stay dry? The final three slots are R07, R08, R07 again. And this car is quite light, so it shouldn't produce that much tire wear with the in-game logic. What is like the main reason for tire wear? A heavy car, more tire wear, of course, and this is quite still lightweight, this car. So yeah, just a tiny little bit on those fronts now. Kazakh closed that gap, and then again has that half second penalty, was pushing too much maybe through that chicane. Should still like keep that slipstream range after serving a penalty. It's half a second for now, gets a good run, slipstream, 4/10th, and here we go, it's 8, 9/10 maybe. So yeah, probably I'd expect the rain to reappear roughly lap 15, 16. So this is now definitely an interesting pace of that race. And probably also the time where the fastest lap of the race will be set. For now it would go to P1R with or lap in GT. No, it is Shadow with a 51.9, so the guys behind get better conditions now, and but also these are not heavy wet conditions anymore, but it's the same for everyone, of course. So the question is still, like, even the track is getting drier and drier. Will we see some improvements on the lap times? It's still probably in that same area at the moment, so not too much of a tire drop in performance, but this is slick tires now. I wonder how many times this happened during the practice runs, like that it's getting that dry. So definitely interesting, and also very interesting still the top two, like not much separating those two, and Kazza with a good run. We might see a new fastest lap for Kazza. Rupali will probably get that one for a second. No, doesn't get it. 52.1, 51.9 for Kazza. Now Lapa GT with a 0.7. So he is flying. Raymac also with an improvement. What about the next driver? Sloniki, 52. Shadow didn't improve. Lugi also not able to get down to that 51.7. Old Banger moved up 2 positions, went past Toby and King Ears, and now we see the tire wear starting to now really have an impact. Pretty sure it will be tough to improve on that fastest lap now. Can slowly throw his nose on the inside. Good run for Toby and King Ears. They stay with Old Banger, a little gap to Lugi and Shadow in P6 and P7 for those 4 cars. So those two trying to work together. We see it's getting darker again, so probably the big rain is just around the corner. So back to our lead battle, and let's get a little bit of on board once again. Oh, we see the windshield wipers now again. So rain is back, and rain is back. Is it? It looks like heavy rain. No, it was just a few drops. And the top two, they were able to improve on this fastest lap. So Rupali has it now with a 51.5. But now I hear and see that we have increasing rain again. And it will go up to the heaviest rain in the game very, very soon. So this is probably then the fastest lap confirmed for Rupali. Oh, Kazza a bit too late. Marbles. Oh, that is a massive time loss. This little mistake. 1.5 seconds nearly lost with that. So good. Again, increasing rain, so you had different braking points over the last couple of laps. Now it's back to the heavy monsoon. And the tire wear, yeah, we see it, but it shouldn't get worse from now on. Everyone survived that dry phase of the race. Now it's back to heavy, wet conditions very, very soon. I think the next lap, so we should see that bar creeping towards that second level. Just a quick run through that grid. King Ears got past Old Banger, and has Old Banger and Captain slowly right behind him. Toby still there, and Rever had a moment. Where was that moment? 8 seconds that gap now. I think in those trying conditions, Rever couldn't keep up with that pace, that 55.3 in lap 30. This is probably what gave him that gap for now. Penalty for Kaza, half a second. So that gap won't come down that much. Might have to look into the mirrors again to cover up Lappin in P3. During the dry phase, Little Nicky could close that gap to Rayback. So we were above 3 seconds, now it's under 2. So can Little Nicky keep up with that run? Runs wide, very wide. You see the gravel coming onto the track for a brief moment. That wasn't ideal, but it's good news, no penalty. Just a little bit of time lost. And Shadow and Loogie, they started P11, P12, moved up to P6 and P7 for now. Riding the curb, again doing the Tony Hawk 50-50 grind over the curb. Looks spectacular, but it's probably not the quickest. Oh no! Friendly fire between the two Razor Silent drivers. Maybe still dirty tires a little bit, I don't know. Old Banger up to P8. Toby right behind. Toby looking down the inside, has the run, maybe. Into turn number 1, understeers a little bit. I saw the brake lights. Keeps it on the track, uses the outside curb. Stays within half of a second. King Ears in 10th position. Still there. Captain slowly also right behind. Chicane, not ideal for Toby, I think. Struggles with the exit, with the run, the speed. Gets a little bump, so nice teamwork again, and this little bump really helps Toby to close that gap once again. Going for the wider line, focusing on the exit run outside. It's under 4 10. Loogie dropped the position again to Shadow, so Shadow and Loogie fighting for, I don't know, dragon rights within the team. Not sure why we see those positions changing. Like if they continue, like they bring back Old Banger, Toby, King Ears, and kept slowly here into that fight for P6. Or maybe they were just bored. They want to say, hey guys, come join us. We want to have a race. And at the front, Rumpadi suddenly has a 3.4 second gap. Found the rhythm in those heavy wet conditions very fast. And Kaza now, it's just 1.6 to our lap and GT. So we might see that battle for P2. It's 3.5 laps to go. Rayback with a quiet race since he went up to that P4. Will Nicky get in the rainy conditions? Not able to keep up with that pace. 3 seconds that gap now. Shadow Loogie, and here we go. That's suddenly a 6-car battle. Oh, Shadow Loogie. Oh, Banger dives down the inside. Goes too deep, maybe over the curb. A very, very optimistic move, but he made it work. No contact at all. And gets that P7 for now. Aggressive driving style. It paid off for now. Again, runs over the curb. That is very risky indeed. And Loogie might get the cutback again. Or is it Toby? We don't know. They go left, right, everywhere. Loogie on the outside. So it could be a fantastic move. A great setup. Loogie positions his car on the inside. Toby follows his teammate. They go too wide into the double left-hander at the race asylum. Slipstream train might be successful this time. Loogie, Toby, do they have the run? I don't think so. Old Banger has the inside out. Toby, so can they go side by side into the first left-hander? Yeah, Old Banger backed out of it, so he wasn't feeling that confident at all. It drops down to P10 again. King is in 9th. Toby with a great race, by the way, so far. In P8, Loogie 7th, and Shadow in P5 again. Don't. Your teammates, don't touch them. It's tricky enough to stay on track. You don't want to give your teammates a bump through those turns. So, and don't want to miss anything. You're at the front, room party, everything under control. 3.6, and indeed it is Keza versus Al up in GT. Roughly a second now. Not long to go. Leader will be starting the penultimate lap very, very soon. And starts that penultimate lap. Keza with a good run out of the double left-hander. P2 all up in GT in P3, Raymack then in P4, Lil Nicky P5, so those gaps are quite big and no immediate threat. Shadow, Loogie 6, 7, King Ears 8, and Toby 9. And then we have Old Banger in a half second. That's again a bit annoying for Old Banger. Captain slowly in P11 and Rever in P12 for now. So I think we should see the gap between Keza and Lepin. 1.9 now. Keza found that final gear on that penultimate lap. Opens up the gap to 2 seconds again. So should be safe to score that P2 by the looks. The leader, no issues at all. We go to the mid-pack battle once again. Nicky P5. Little gap to Shadow, Kinius, Toby. Loogie lost a couple of positions. Dropped down to P11 behind Captain Slowly and Old Banger, both with a penalty though. Can Loogie get close enough to catch at least one of them? Now approaching that penalty zone. Loogie has a 1 second gap. I don't think it's close enough. to actually go for a move. We'll see. Lugi tried everything. Getting that gap down to 2/10. Looking on the inside. Oh, he's going for it. Taking a narrow line. And not the best line for the run. But he's back with that pack. So it is the final lap of the race. And let's go through that one. Rumpali with a comfortable 4.4 seconds lead. Kaza P2, 2.5 seconds of gap. 2R up into T, nearly 10 seconds. Then to Raymac in P4. Wilmicki 4 seconds to gap. Shadow, King Ears, Toby. The next drivers, then Old Banger with a 1 second gap, cut it slowly. And Lugi, this is not over yet. And Rever in P12. We think we stay with this one. Yeah, Old Banger lost a little bit of time. I think this is more important for the race, maybe. Lugi versus Captain Slowly, different lines again. Would help him, and a cut-back approach for Lugi. Can Captain Slowly defend that position? Now he has the line for the next right-hander and should keep it. No, he defends that position for now. So Rumpali is on the home straight and wins that race for Project 1 Racing start to finish, except for the actual race start where Kaza got the better launch, but led every lap of the race. Kaza P2R lapping in P3, Raymac P4, Lil Mickey P5, Shadow, King Ears, Toby, 03 will finish P6, 7 and 8. And here we go, the run, Old Banger, P9, Captain Slowly and Lugi, the run to the line. Will it be enough for Capsule? It looks like he will just keep that position. P10, P11 for Lugi and Rever. Then we'll finish the race in P12. Right, congrats everybody. So I'm gonna save that replay. Take the screenshots. Then I'm gonna update the race results. Bear with me for a second. We will get live original points. Then Rumpali with the win and the fastest lap as well. Chasm finishes in P2. In third position, it's Raymac F1. P4, we have Lil Mickey in P5. Shadow is in 6. King Ears P7. Toby in 8th position. We have Old Banger is P9. Captain Slowly 10, Rudy 11th, and Rever P12. So if I did everything correct, then we should get that little bit of the spreadsheet. And if I didn't do any crucial mistakes, then it looks like that Project 1 Racing 63 points and Race Asylum 53 points for that race. Right, the lobby is already gone, so we can't go back to that and say congratulations everyone. So I do it on the stream here. It was a great race, very intense. The mid-pack battle was insane, and yeah, looks like Project 1 Racing got this. Scores, of course, will be double-checked. And yeah, that's it for, I think, for this coverage. So I go back to this one, go to the schedule. So right, so GTR versus ART should be also in the closing stages of that race. So if you want to jump over to the Dream Team Racing channel, say hello. I'm gonna do the live now when I finish this one, and then tomorrow we have the 3 races: ZFS versus AHR, CLR versus BFS, and TCR versus Project One Racing X. So we will yeah, release this broadcasting schedule tomorrow, I think. We'll be covering which one. That's it from my side for today's matchup between Races Adam and Project One Racing. Thank you all for watching, and hope to see you again very soon in one of our next streams. Until then, take care. See you soon. Bye bye.